Good morning, 8th grade. This is Miss Alexander. I'm going to start trying to send videos on each topic that I put in the packet. So today I'm going to start with the very first topic, 8.3, Properties of Exponents. So if you'll see here, I have already done the foldable for the topic. I cut out the heading, exponent rules, and I have cut out the foldable. It's a little bit different of a foldable than we've done in the past, so I had to kind of just make it work. But you'll see the tabs, product rule, quotient rule, power rules, negative exponent rule, and zero exponent rule. And if you'll see, I had to cut out the second worksheet that goes with the foldable, and I had to glue it in the inside. So for product rule, which product means multiplication, you want the multiplication insert. For the quotient rule, I had to do the dividing insert because quotient means to divide. For power rules, I had to do power of a power and power of a product. For negative exponent rule, I did the negative exponent rule tab. Zero exponent rule, I've put that at the bottom. So if you want to fix that to try to help you, we did exponents, laws of exponents, at the beginning of the year, probably in August. So if you still have your first notebook, it will be probably within the first 15 to 20 pages in your notebook. I can't remember exactly what page it's on, but we did a foldable and we did a worksheet. I'm going to work out 4 example problems for you to see. These 4 problems come off of the worksheet that I have assigned on properties of exponents. So I picked out number 1, 13, 19, and 27. On number 1, this would be the product rule. So on the product rule, when you have the same base, which are the V's, then you add the exponents. But the coefficients, if you remember us going over that, you have to multiply. 4 times 2 would be 8. The V, you have the same base, so you keep the V and then you add the exponent. So if you add 4 and 2, you get 6. And then that would be the final answer. Okay, number 13, I also picked out from that sheet because it has to do with the quotient rule. So on the quotient rule, when we went over it, we called it division laws of exponents. You divide the problem, so kind of separate, draw you a line. If you remember doing that when we went over this, that's what we did. And you solve each side. So if we solve the left side, we do 6 divided by 3, and 6 divided by 3 would be 2. And then if you solve the right side, division laws of exponents, or the quotient rule, tells you that you subtract exponents when they have the same base. So you have a -4 from the top minus 4 on the bottom because you're subtracting. But then you look at your integer rules and you're actually not subtracting. You're saying same sign, so you add and keep the same sign. So you have 2a to the -8. But we never leave a negative in the final answer. So we have a 2 and we have an a to the -8. We know immediately that we're going to have a fraction anytime you have a negative exponent. So the 2 has a positive exponent of 1. It's there, but you don't write it there. So the 2 needs to go to the top of the fraction because it has a positive exponent, and the a to the -8 needs to go to the bottom to become positive. And that would be the final answer. Okay, number 19 off of the worksheet. This is what I like to say, a power raised to another power. So we have an exponent on the 8 of 1, an exponent on the x of 1. So we're going to take 8 to the 1 and multiply times 4, raising it to the other power through multiplication. And then we're going to take x to the first power and raise it to the 4 through multiplication. So 8 to the 1 times 4 would be 8 to the 4. And then x to the 1 times 4 would be x to the 4th. But we can't leave it in that form because that's not simplified. 8 to the 4 is not simplified. So we have to do 8 to the 4th, which would be 8 times 8 times 8 times 8. So 8 times 8 would be 64. And 64 times 8 would be 512. And 512 times 8 would be 4,096. So 8 to the 4th equals 4,096. So the final answer would be 4,096 x to the 4th. And then lastly, number 27, it's also a power to a power. So we have x to the 0, and we multiply that 0 times 2. Well, 0 times 2 would be 0. And the 0 exponent rule says anything raised to the 0 power is 1. And I'll show you that over here on the exponent rule. Any number raised to the 0 power is equal to 1. It gives an example. You also have this foldable, don't forget, not this exact one, but you have a foldable on laws of exponents in your composition notebooks, the very first one from first semester. So if you need to know anything about laws of exponents, you should have a notes page, which would be a foldables page, and you should have a couple of worksheets in the first composition notebook. So I'm going to try to send another video towards the end of this week on the next section. There are 4 sections total. The next packet, there will be 4 more sections. So 8 sections total in the 2 packets that I'm going to send home for the rest of the year. And those 8 topics are the 8 essential topics that we've decided as 8th grade teachers in the county that you need to know for 9th grade. So be looking, because Ms. Vayon will be posting for me in Google Classroom the videos of the different topics. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.